Hello, welcome back to my beautiful channel. And it is interesting to see how the Christians Association of Nigeria come out in support of Tinubu administration. We know that in the past few days that the United States activated an agenda or propaganda to bring to the fore the Christians' genocide, how the Muslims, Islamists, terrorists, and extremists have been attacking Middle Belton Christians. But what I seem to understand is it seems the series of moves Tinubu has taken in the past 4 months have been strategic, have been beneficial to him as a candidate, because what we see today is the Christian Association of Nigeria, which involves all denomination of the Christian faith churches, whether Catholic, whether Bishop, Anglican, Pentecostal, name it. They've all agreed that Tinubu is not the reason, neither is it the fault of the insecurity going on in the country. And they've come out to say that, well, why we might argue that Tinubu should find a solution, but we must understand that the past government, which was led by a top tier Fulani sympathizer, a Fulani man himself, a man who took upon himself to rehabilitate terrorists, that it will be almost impossible and it will be unfaithful and un-God-fearing to demand Tinubu to fix it up in 2 years. For me, I am hungry. But again, when I analyze, I do not like to allow my emotions and sentiments to take a better of me. While I understand that the Christians are facing series of attack. In fact, I have said so many times that if any pastor comes out to say that the Christians are not facing genocide, that pastor should kiss goodbye to his members. I haven't seen any member. I haven't seen any pastor. But what I have seen is the Christian Association body. In this instance, we cannot point to any pastor. We might say the Christian Association has been politicized, but at the same time, this Christian Association of Nigeria were the ones that stood, aggressively to campaign against Jonathan. In fact, they did everything to ensure that Jonathan was kicked out. I don't know why they did that. But one thing I can take away is it seems that the Christian associations somehow believe that Tinubu has a capacity, okay, if he extends his tenure, probably he has a capacity to bring that solution. But Nigerians are not in that moment of rationalizing things. But again, I stand on it. If any pastor comes out, because I know that the Christian Association have been politicized way back since the years of Femi Orishejafo, the man under Jonathan that was caught with $20 million in private jet to South Africa. Abuna, don't forget. We all remember. So whatever the Christian Association have to say is by the way. Okay, it's by the way, because Tinubu has mastered the art of using people for his own benefit, and apparently it seems that what he is doing right now with the Khan is he has defeated them. He has been able to maybe buy them with whatever means, maybe money, maybe his ideas. I don't want to, conclude, but they are on his side. And I know that whether you like it or not, the thing that that thing that could have made Khan to support Tinubu on this stance, I swear to God, they will support him even when it comes to by 2027. Yes, because by 2027, we know that the Christian Association of Nigeria, is domiciled in the Middle Belt. Yes. Why so many of us are sad? Why so many of us are hungry? The issue of Khan, if you look at the pillars of Khan, if you look at those behind the Khan executives, majority of them are from the Middle Belt. Are you talking of Nasarawa? Are you talking of Plateau? Then you can talk of maybe Kwara, the Christian side, the Kogi Christian side. Then you can talk of Southwest. These guys are simply indicating that you know get wetin wan happen. Oh, Tinubu, they are with them. Omo, is there a way Tinubu can be defeated? Because I know that the man who the kind should be speaking his mind today should be Peter Obi. Because Peter Obi is a man who is so close to the church. Peter Obi is a man who was born and bred in the church. And we all know that the Peter Obi wouldn't have in any way support this statement of Khan. But for me, it seems Tinubu has been able to even to overtake the mosque and the church. And I know that the last time Tinubu was in Plateau, when he went to the chairman of the APC Mother's Burial, where he was assuring the Christians that I am with you. I will be, I will bring religious balance by 2027. I am sure this could be the reasons. Have you forgotten that Emmanuel Machikuka, the Reverend Machikuka, immediately came on board and said that the insecurity in this country has reduced by a large extent. That whatever we have today, we must understand that Tinubu has done way, way better than Buhari. That is contestable. That is debatable. But to an extent, I agree. Yes, I agree. Because Tinubu has first and foremost, he has decentralized the Nigerian military. Secondly, Tinubu is talking about state police. Buhari never said anything about state police. He never for one day spoke about it. And then lastly, we can see that some large parts of the Middle Belt, Southern Kaduna, some places in the north, that under Buhari, those places were no-go areas. These were largely Christian-dominated areas. Those places have been able to be inhabited by human beings. You see, it is so annoying to say that when a guy you never wanted to be there, a man who by all standards is against your values, is achieving the things you never wanted to achieve, you know the level of frustration. Like the level of frustration. Because I know that Atiku today will be so Atiku today will be so confused. Like, for real? These people still they support, like they are speaking in favor of Tinubu. Atiku will not believe his eyes. He won't believe his eyes. Because I know that if the Christian Association of Nigeria has spoken that there is Christian genocide, you see the hypocrisy of Atiku. But what do we have? Only God knows how Tinubu they take do am. Who knows? Has he wired money? Is there anybody that is behind this? Because me, I don't tire to they come out. If you don't, when you think that Tinubu will fall into a trap, you go just kurukere, boom. You don't follow. You don't turn lemon to lemonade, bang bang. Please, the Christian Association of Nigeria has spoken. Who wants to speak again? I am telling you, there is no pastor that will say anything again. All of them will just keep quiet. You keep quiet. I am very, very sure that Adeboye will not say anything. Why is Tinubu getting everything in his favor? This is beyond me not like wanting Tinubu to be there. I support Obi. But to the North to be looking at, they won't understand now because the North actually don't want Nigeria to explode. But in 2026 now, this same kind that supported Tinubu today will use the excuse that we ensure that Nigeria did not what? That the Nigeria does not separate. When we said that Christians are not being attacked only. Because the statement is bullets are not chasing after Christians alone. because the Muslims are not spared. That is the headline of what the Christian Association of Nigeria said. So you can see, it's crazy, bro. I am just, I don't know. I sincerely don't know. I do not know what to say, bro. I do not know what to say. Thank you.
And friendliness. Hate is not an option for us. Love is what you preach, that we should love one another. Nobody determine what God has ordained. God's ordained action and his promises is what matters. I inherited Islam from my family. I didn't change. But my wife is a pastor. She prays for me. No conflict. And I never did at any single time to convince her or combat her. I believe in the freedom of religion. We are praying to the same God. We are answerable to the same Almighty God. We will answer to him. We will account for him. Our deed, our character, our love to our fellow beings is what is important. Not the method and the faith of him. So Almighty, we pray to accept the soul of Lydia and give all that she left behind a blessing and glory. To say, may our soul rest in peace. Thank you very much.
Would like to just remind the elders that His Excellency the President will be meeting with you very briefly before he takes leave of us from Plateau. And that will be immediately after the national anthem.
Welcome back to my channel. It is interesting to see whenever the Norths are vulnerable, helpless. Because what we want today is the diasporans have risen up. In fact, yesterday they met with Benjamin Kalu, the man behind the constitutional amendment. Benjamin Kalu vowed that changes shall be made. However, the participation of the diasporans is very much needed. We know that if we want to stick to our locals, that means Nigerians who are living in Nigerians, there is no way we can outvote the Northerners. But in this case, Benjamin Kalu has said, diasporan voters must participate. And to my surprise, and it sweetens me, by the way, the North are helpless. In fact, they're restless. In this instance, there is no way to vote their way out because we know that when we talk about the diasporan population, the North are meager in numbers. However, the Southerners, the Middle Belters, a majority of those who have always cried, see, for constitutional change are those who are out there. And what we have today is Tinubu is ready to work with whatever the majority stake is. Well, what are the constitutional changes and why is Benjamin Kalu insisting that there must be a constitutional amendment? Let us quickly listen to him for 30 seconds. Then we'll continue our analysis.
26 years ago, Nigeria returned to democratic governance under the 1999 Constitution. Instead, we find ourselves in a moment of reckoning, a moment where we must ask, is our Constitution still fit for purpose? Does it reflect the Nigeria we are today? Or is it anchored to the Nigeria of a bygone era?
Welcome back. Now, from there, you can see Benjamin Kalu will soon be tagged an enemy of the North. Yes, because Benjamin Kalu, the last time he said that why we have always failed in changing the constitution, the 99 constitution, is because there has not been the courage to gather people who truly want changes. Let me tell you, since 1999, the conversation around constitutional amendment has never been this intense. Yes, unfortunately, this might be happening under a man most of us do not like, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But why is it becoming so intense? It is because Tinubu has brought in some level of consciousness. The Middle Belters people have been able to rediscover themselves. We can see what is going on in the South. In the Southwest today, majority of them are saying that we want a country where we can express ourselves. We are tired of being suppressed under what seems like a northern Islamic rule or regime. Because to be fair and to be very objective, under the regime of Buhari, we started having conversations about Ruga. These are the things that have been trashed in the late 1970s and 80s. But Buhari decided to go dig into the archives of the Fulanization agenda that were passed by his forebears. He said, we should be one. Let us talk about rural urban grazing areas when his counterpart in Kenya, in Ghana, as at that time, were prohibiting open grazing. Buhari brought it out. Because right there, when Jonathan was there, Jonathan did everything to stop it. But Buhari came and said, no, we know those who became the victim of open grazing the most, the Middle Belters and the Southwesterners. We know that the open grazing